While making this video, I am kind of sick, so if I sound nasally, I apologize. Well, today we have possibly one of the most known Vaporwave albums ever created, Banshee 0. This album was released in September of 2012 and falls under the category of Vapor Trap. If you don't know what Vapor Trap is, you're probably on the wrong channel. I'll explain anyways for you Vaporwave newbies. It's quite simply the use of trap-like beats in Vaporwave. With that out of the way, let's get into the review. The first song on this album is titled B:/Startup and is an introductory track to Banshee 0. It gives the feeling of a computer starting, finding the initial files, and halfway through it gives a nice Windows XP reminiscent type sound. The song doesn't last for too long, but it does a good job of giving an idea of what to expect from Banshee 0. The second song is called Wave Step, a quite upbeat type song. It reminds me of an amusement park and the sounds you hear on entry. Very happy and childish. There are vocals scattered through the track, but are quite indecipherable. An underlying synth drones through the track and keeps focus on what Banshee 0 is really about. The third song is titled Bath Salts and is incredibly upbeat, implied by the title. It sounds like the final boss level of a pretentious $2.99 indie pixel art game on Steam. Quite cliche and doesn't fit into the Banshee 0 album for me. If the track was standalone, I probably wouldn't be so critical of it, but the mere fact it's packed in with the rest of these songs is bothersome to me. Very techno Moombaton vibe, and not something to chill out to. The next song on this album, Ammonia Clouds, is absolutely incredible. The melody is a guitar and surprisingly fits in very well. The guitar fades out at times and it is all synths. Very relaxed and chill. In the end of the song, a constant electronic noise is used and gives a crescendo to the build-up of the song, and finally descends into a middle-of-the-jungle type noise with the sun coming out and birds chirping. Fifth on Banshee 0 is Venus Death Trap. A very weird track to me, but it definitely isn't out of place. Like Ammonia Clouds, it has instrumentation. Once again, it is a guitar. There's vocals that say Seance City throughout the song, and it is chopped and screwed with, and gives the song some life. It reminds me of a voice you would hear in a futuristic MMORPG. Up next is Hyper Object, again with the guitar instrumentals. It has more of a hip-hop type beat, and lyrics that read, "Everything seemed funny, everything seemed so dull. Spend your whole life running, everything seems so dull." Then it loops saying, "You can't recall." Again, the vocals are chopped and screwed closer to the end of the song. Photosynthesis is the seventh track and is more ethereal or dreamlike. Imagine going through a long, clear tunnel in the future, with a bright sun gleaming in onto you as you travel from place to place. Take that and make it slow motion. It reminds me of an aquarium and the relaxation of seeing the fish swim with the bright colors on their bodies. Easily one of my favorites on the album. It really makes you visualize and have that full aesthetic experience. Next is Deep Space, a lo-fi pulsating song. Not really a lot to say about this song except it's kind of boring. It's over with pretty quickly, and that's all I got to say about it. As I would hope, Dreamcast is much more active than the last song, and has very prominent vocals to it. Probably the easiest to distinguish out of all the songs. It talks of blood making the grass greener, and implies the killing of someone out of fear. If you don't listen closely to the vocals, it can be mistaken as more upbeat, but obviously isn't so. It seems to be a theme to chop and screw the vocals of every song, including such vocals, and Dreamcast doesn't stray away from it. Cyber Zodiac is very powerful and has strong beats to it. A kind of high-pitched is used and spices up the track. Like Deep Space, not a lot to say about it, except it's very smooth. Except this one isn't very boring like Deep Space. Now on to probably the most popular track of the whole album, Teen Pregnancy. It explains the teenager being pregnant and saying it was a mistake. "I'm just a kid," they say. It samples the Grandmaster Flash in the Furious 5 and the song The Message. This is very nostalgic, and this track is probably one of the most well done on Banshee 0. It's kind of depressing in a way that it makes you think of all the mistakes you have ever done. Teen Pregnancy is easily my favorite song on this album, and most likely always will be. The next song is Purity Boys, and it talks about getting inspiration to explore and find new things, but nobody wants to help you find these new places. It also says how when something goes good, it is crippled by sadness. It implies that it might be someone older and just isn't made for these times. The song is short and sweet and conveys the message very quickly. Visualization really is about visualizing, and it is almost like one of those ASMR videos of a soft voice giving instructions on how to lucid dream. I wouldn't doubt it if it were actually sampled from a video tutorial. It takes a turn to talk about how to go somewhere where you feel happy and emotionally balanced. It reminds me of Bob Ross for some reason and how positive he was. Very weird, but very awesome. World Vision has a slow trap beat and quiet vocals which, according to Genius, say, "ever had," over and over again. This song is fairly dull to me and kind of boring, but it's very relaxing. The final song of Banshee Zero is B/shutdown/depression, and it is very calm and relaxing, and it is also very short and just gives an ending to the album. In conclusion, I think Banshee Zero is probably something you would show someone if they were just getting into Vaporwave, as it shows key components to Vaporwave songs and what to expect. In my opinion, I would rate this album 8 out of 10. The overall flow of the songs is very good and well composed. There are some songs that don't fit it at all that well, but I must forgive them. Thank you for listening to my review of this album. Leave a comment below and share it with your friends. Please give me constructive criticism and tell me what I should review next. I might leave a straw poll link in the description with some albums I want to review next, and you guys can vote on it. Until next time, have a great day.